unfortunately, this is an absolute shit show. It is a disgrace. It is a travesty. And I called it the night of the election in 2018, the very night of the election. If you will remember, I said Donald J. Trump just got indicted, or just got impeached. Okay? Remember, the impeachment is just like an indictment. Their sole goal, and Nancy said it yesterday, Donald Trump will forever be impeached. He will go down in history. He's forever impeached. Right, Chuck? Isn't that right? Yeah, he will be forever impeached. This was payback for Bill Clinton, who actually did commit high crimes. And the felonies he committed were actually listed in his articles of impeachment. Name me one crime that was listed in these 2 articles of impeachment. You can't find any because both the charges are made up. There's no such thing as obstruction of Congress. Just because you want to subpoena somebody and then you don't actually subpoena them, but you think that the president is going to say, no, they can't testify, defy the subpoena, rather than going to the court and compel appearance under the subpoena, which would be the appropriate legal remedy. They never even issued the subpoena. So how can you have obstruction of Congress, which isn't even a thing, for subpoenas that were never even issued? It's all made up. It's all bullshit. It's all political. All they wanted, the whole thing from the start, that's why it was obstruction of justice. It was bribery. It was extortion. It was collusion. All of it is made up because their only goal was to be able to say, Trump will be forever impeached. He's going to get in history now as impeached president. That's all they wanted. Now, why did it take them 3 weeks to deliver? And they're a little, you know, there was somebody put together a great sped up version of they see the somber and grave procession from the House over to the Senate with the articles of impeachment. Who was holding the articles anyway? It's like, what? Oh, no, wait, we can't have old white guys and old white girls. No, we need diversity in this impeachment, so we're going to find a token black lady to carry them over. It's just pathetic. So some wag, and I don't know who originally created the video, but I posted it today, sped it up a la Benny Hill to the tune Yakety Sax, which is what, if you don't know, the Benny Hill, that's Yakety Sax. That's the name of the song. And you know, it's just a disgrace from beginning to end. Ted Cruz found a big box of booyah on the subway, the Senate subway, over to the chamber from his office, and he opened that bad boy up, and what was inside? A big can of whoop ass, and so he opened it up on them. It's not going to end well for the Democrats. Not going to end well at all. And everybody's worried about Chief Justice Roberts. Why are you worried? If you're worried about Chief Justice Roberts, you clearly don't understand the role of the Chief Justice in an impeachment trial in the Senate. Okay? The only reason the Chief Justice sits when the president is on trial is because they don't want an appearance of a conflict of interest. The founders didn't want the appearance of a conflict of interest to have the Senate president, who is also the vice president of the United States. The vice president of the United States is president of the Senate, and when he's not there, the president pro tem, the president pro tempore, the president for a time, the temporary president is in there. It's a senator that's, you know, he's president unless Mike Pence comes up to Capitol Hill. Mike Pence could go up any day. Any day. He doesn't need an invitation. There doesn't need to be a special reason. He could just decide, you know, he could be kicking back in the OEB and say, you know what? I got nothing on this afternoon. I think I'll go up and hang in the Senate. And he could sit there and he could preside over the Senate because he is ex officio the president of the Senate. But when the president of the United States is on trial for impeachment, the founders didn't want the person who would benefit from a conviction in that trial, namely the vice president, to be presiding over the trial, right? How would that look if Mike Pence were presiding over Trump's trial, and then if Trump is convicted and removed from office, guess who gets to be president? Mike Pence. Founders knew that was bad optics and they didn't want it. So they said, when the president is on trial, let's say, when Alcee Hastings, Chief Justice, wasn't presiding over the Senate trial of Alcee Hastings when he was removed from office, and the only problem I have with that trial is that they didn't bar him from future office, because the first thing that Alcee Hastings did was run for Congress as a Democrat, of course, because Democrats love criminals. So Alcee Hastings was removed for cause from the federal bench because he was corrupt, and he's been in Congress as a Democrat ever since, which just shows you the moral decay and corruption at the heart and soul of the Democrat Party. So the only reason Chief Justice Roberts is going to be presiding over this trial is because it wouldn't be appropriate for Mike Pence to be presiding over this trial. But if it were a federal judge or a Secretary of Labor or any other federal officer, Pence would be the presiding officer. Okay? But we don't want Pence, the vice president, to preside over the trial of Donald Trump, the president, because if Trump were to be convicted and removed from office, Pence would benefit, and that wouldn't look good. The founders knew this. The only reason Justice Roberts is there, he's not a judge. If he makes any rulings, they have to comport with the sense of the Senate. So any rulings he makes, the Senate gets to vote. Now that's where the Murkowski, Collins, and Mittens cabal come into play, because they can have more power. But we know that there's no way there's going to be 67 votes to convict. So, Mitch McConnell was not a Trump supporter until he was. A lot of people were not Trump supporters until they were, until they saw what he's done for the country. Who has been the president's biggest ally in the Senate? Mitch McConnell. 180 judges have been confirmed thanks to Mitch McConnell. So, they've got this. They know what they're doing. They know what the pitfalls are. They know where the opportunities are. But, for all of these people going off half-cocked, Justice Roberts, the fix is in because Roberts is deep state and he's got to screw the president. I mean, come on. Don't let these people clutter up your timeline, okay? I've been beating them back as best I could on the Fox News posts and on my posts. But, don't listen to people who aren't informed. And that's why, I've been telling you, listen to people who know what they're talking about. Listen to people like Adam Gingrich. And if you're not subscribed to the MAGA Coalition channel, not MAGA Institute, that's Brooks and mine, but MAGA Coalition, which is Adam Gingrich and Glenn Herman and Ginger McQueen over on YouTube, you need to be listening to them because, Adam is a legitimate political operative. His mother was in the Pennsylvania state legislature. Adam has a degree in political science. He's been doing this for decades. He knows what he's doing. And he's somebody that you should be listening to, someone with actual knowledge and experience. Don't listen to people who don't have actual knowledge and experience. That said, I'm coming out now and saying you also shouldn't listen to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is a sleazebag. Tucker Carlson is a thief. Somebody with knowledge and experience, Douglas Ducote, and if you're not subscribed to Doug Ducote's channel over on YouTube, I strongly suggest you listen to him, because Doug is an expert on the border. And they went down and they had a big fundraiser for the border tour, and they're going to be, they've been boots on the ground. They're going to be doing a big tour, interviewing people along the way. They had a fundraiser for this operation, for this production, to bring actual knowledge to people. And they pitched it to Tucker Carlson's producer, to have Doug Ducote go on Tucker and say what they were going to be doing and describe the documentary that they were going to be making and what their objectives were and how they wanted to educate the public on what is really going on the border. All of a sudden, there's a story today with Lara Logan going down and interviewing the same people that Doug Ducote had interviewed, the same exact people that Doug wanted to come on Tucker to talk about, have clips of, and they gave Doug Ducote a veteran, U.S. Army, with battle injuries. They just stole the story from him. They just stole from everyone who donated to help fund the documentary that Doug was producing along with Dustin Gold on the border. They're thieves. They outright stole the story. And unlike when Rush Limbaugh stole my meme of comparing Di-Fi with her hand on the wall to Murkowski and Murkowski cringing, and I did the side-by-side with the alien and Sigourney Weaver as Ridley, and Rush went and stole that meme, and his producers actually recreated it without my tag and without my text, without my Patriot Uprising tag and without my text. You know, it was obvious what happened because it was my meme. I created it. But was there any connection? Was there any nexus between Rush Limbaugh and myself? Did I pitch to Rush? No, none of that. Clearly, you know, somebody saw it on Facebook, and because I'm banned for life from Twitter, somebody the other day asked me what my Twitter handle was, and I said @bannedforlife 3 times. But somebody saw it and decided it would be fun for Rush to talk about, and they took off all my information. They didn't even have the decency to say, we saw this online and this is exactly what's going on. No, they just blatantly stole it, and Rush talked about it as though it was his idea when it wasn't. It was mine. But I don't have any proof of that. It's just, you know, it's like, and again, people misunderstand what circumstantial evidence is. Circumstantial evidence is that you fall asleep in a chair on your porch or inside looking out, and it snows 6 inches, and you wake up and there are footprints in the snow. Did an animal or a person go by? You haven't seen any animal or person go by, but you've got the circumstantial evidence. You've got the footprints in the snow. So people think circumstantial evidence is somehow made up evidence, that it's not real evidence, and that's a misunderstanding. You know, the fundamental misunderstanding of what the law is so prevalent on Facebook. You really need to talk to people who know what they're talking about. So we have circumstantial evidence. I'm the one that created the meme. All of a sudden, Rush Limbaugh is using those exact 2 photographs that I used to create the meme. But when they put them up, there's no Patriot Uprising tag and there's not my caption. So we've got circumstantial evidence of what happened, but is there any direct proof? No, there's not. But with Tucker Carlson and Doug Ducote, we have an email. We have a paper trail. And I'm calling them out as thieves. Okay, I've had a lot of issues with Tucker lately. Tucker's more libertarian than he is conservative. He's got a, you know, he goes weak at the knees whenever Tulsi comes around. But I always thought that he was a decent guy. I always thought that he was somebody that you could say, you know, agree with him or disagree with him. You know, he's somebody that believes in fair play. I can no longer say that. Okay, because instead of doing their own research, instead of digging up their own people to talk to interview, they blatantly stole Doug Ducote's work and passed it off as their own. That is despicable. All right, I just went and shoveled 8 inches. I probably have another 6 inches to go now. I'm loving it. I love this snow. I was so bereft. Somebody last week asked me, well, how's the weather up there? And I said, it's horrible. It was 62. We don't want 62 in January. We need to make winter great again. We need lots and lots and lots of snow. We've only had 38 inches of snow this year. It's ridiculous. Usually we get 123. We get over 10 feet a year on average. And so far this year, we've only had like 38 inches. It's ridiculous. So, looking forward to getting back outside in the fresh air, get a little exercise. Don't forget, oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Yeah, the 3-week delay for Nancy bringing over the... Did you see the pens that she used to sign? And she did it like, you know, use one pen to make the downstroke for the N, use another one to make the diagonal, use a third one to make... Okay, so she signed her name piecemeal to use all these pens. Did you see all those pens? Yeah, they were made out of AR-15 shells. What's the symbolism there, Nancy? Why wouldn't you use regular signing pens? And did we wait 3 weeks so that you could get custom ordered AR-15 cartridge pens with your name engraved on them in gold leaf? Is that what the 3-week delay was for, Nancy? And if it was, we know who paid for the pens, but why would you need pens that had AR-15 cartridges? I thought the AR-15 was an evil weapon, Nancy. What gives? Inquiring minds want to know. I would call her office and ask. I plan to. You should too. All right, that's all I've got until next time. God bless you. God bless these United States. Keep fighting the good fight.